Yeah. Can you tell me? Yeah, it's repetitive strain injury. And who will get this repetitive strain injuries?
IT engineers.
Pardon?
IT engineers.
IT engineers, then? Anybody else? Even a coolie worker can get it. Even an athlete can get it. So it is not confined that only IT employees or the people who is working a lot with computers will get it. But it is basically repetitive strain injuries where the professionals who are doing a lot of repetitive activities are prone to get repetitive strain injuries. So I'll be talking in detail as I'm skipping slides, and as she was telling, you can just keep all the doubts to the end and you can just shoot me on when I just give you the time. And here, when we are going to look into about what ergonomics is all about, I'm going to talk about the ergonomic concepts and what you have to do when you're working with the computers. And if you see the previous slide, it's written as healthy computing. Now, computing is your job, right? Right? What is so healthy about it? What do you feel healthy about your computer work? So I would be talking about it, and as I told, this repetitive strain injuries is not confined only to the IT employees. And typically, like most of you, like I think if I ask you to raise your hands, I think most of you would they might raise their hands. How many of you have a neck pain and a back pain as you're working here? I think it's a great number here. So I'm going to help you to prevent these things like as you're going to work. Now you have some social costs. If you're not going to cope up with the ergonomics that we are going to teach, definitely there are some social costs. Then what are the social costs? I would say like you work in this office good 8 hours, right? And how many of you feel to go back to your house and just spend time with your family or to go for an outing? Or how many of you are happy to go and do some house after you get back to your house? How many of you feel? You feel okay to go and work in the house also? No. You feel? And how many of you feel that you want to go and just rest yourself after you get back to your house and don't want to do? And some people are raising both their hands. So this will be the social cost. Like you're having a lot of stress in your workplace because economically you're not fitting yourself to the workplace, and you get a lot of pains and aches. And once you get back to your home, you're not willing to cope up with the household works. So these are the social costs I'm just talking about. And what are the economic costs when you compromise your pain and when you ignore your pain? Like lost wages and absenteeism. This is basically like in a study which they have done it in US. They say that in a year, each and every employee who's working with the computer is taking nearly 18 days of sick leave, and the company has to give the medical cost around some say $7,000 to $30,000 per employee per year. And this, I'm very sure that even here it happens. Like maybe you will be spending a lot to go to a physiotherapy center or to a doctor, and you will be very concerned that you want to live pain-free, right? Everybody you want to live pain-free and you want to work pain-free, and this will be the cost that you're going to pay. If you're ignoring your pain, what you're having now, you are going to pay cost for it. And again, for the employees who employ you, they have problems in recruiting new people, right? If you're taking some sick leaves, I'm very sure that place will be given to somebody else as to compensate your work, right? Somebody else will be doing the work for you, or you have to come back and do it, right? Either ways, it is going to cost the company. And again, the compensation, as I told you, and again the work productivity. How many of you feel to work happy with the same pay? or you want to, if you're having pain, you want to try to finish the job very soon and you want to get back, right? Or how many of you would love to work with the same pain? So the work productivity, as I told you, it's going to get compromised. So these are the economic costs that we have found, and we want to let you know what it costs about the economic cost. And now, what are the risk factors? How many of you would say that the worker, the worker who is working like with the computer himself is a risk factor? Do you know that? Everybody agree with me about that? Like the worker who is working with the computer, he himself or she herself is the risk factor. The reason is, like, one thing is like the ergonomical, like the chair or the ergonomical workstation that is being given to you. Sometimes it might not be used properly in the proper way. So it might cause a lot of muscle tension and habitual muscle tension and other sort of things. I'll just come to it later. And again, the task. Again, I would say that you keep on doing the repetitive tasks, right? Everybody work with the keyboard, and everybody work with the mouse. And on an average, how many? Can somebody say that on an average, how many times you type the keyboard? How many times you type the keyboard?
Thousands.
Pardon?
Thousands.
Okay. Actually, it says that a person who is working in an IT company, and if he's working with the keyboard, if he's not knowing the shortcuts, then it says the study says that the person taps the keyboard keys more than 2 lakh times. So that's the average that they are giving. So when you are doing the repetitive task over the keyboard, you are going to, abuse your joints, which you are not supposed to do. And if it is going to if it is going to affect your work, obviously it is going to affect the company, and also it is going to affect your own life. So the environment, I think most of the IT companies now are having a good environment with good temperature, air quality, and noise-free environment, right? I think here I visited the Oracle, which is there in OTP. It had a very good environment. So these are a few risk factors. And now this slide. Most of the IT people, and I just go and present this slide, they turn to just skip it off. The reason is they don't want to listen. How does the smoking is going to affect your health, and how is it going to cause the repetitive strain injuries? The reason is when you smoke, what is happening is like you tend to cough, right? You tend to cough, right? When you're coughing, what happens is your intra-abdominal pressure is getting built up. And when the intra-abdominal pressure is getting built up, it puts a lot of pressure back to your spine, which is just next to the abdominal cavity. And again, when this repetitive thing is going to happen, in addition to what you are having it, like you sit for a long time, right? Everybody sit, say around some 5 to 6 hours a day. Actually, which we are not supposed to do. As human beings, we have been created in such a way that we have to stand and we have to walk and work. But as we have evolved, we have found so many ways of sitting, and to work with the computers, we have found ways to sit and work. So basically what we do now is we sit for a long time, and that is putting a lot of pressure over your back. And in addition to that, if you're smoking, that's going to build up your abdominal pressure, and it's going to put more pressure back to your spine. And when that is happening, when there's a pressure over the on your spine, what happens is there is something called a disc that might sometimes slip out, and that causes pain, a lot of pain. And again, smoking diminishes the blood flow to your bones, to your muscles, to your tendons, and to your the nerves that are there in and around the joints will get affected. So please avoid smoking. And this is what I was telling. When there is a lot of pressure, what happens is the disc might come out. So please be very careful about it. And now the risk factors that are there in your work. Force, as I said you're using a lot of force when you're using the keyboards and mouse. And again, the repetitions, as I mentioned you, Now, the new term that I'm going to coin here is static loading. Right? What is static loading? How many of you know what static loading is all about? Static loading. Static loading is something like when you sit for a long time, you're not doing any work, you're just doing some work with your hands. But what is happening to your spine? You're loading the spine by sitting, right? And that is static loading. What happens is when you load, keep on loading over the spine, and when you're losing the curves of the spine, it means that you're putting more than 250% of the weight to the spine, which is supposed to go to the earth when you're walking and when you're standing. So static loading is one of the main risk factor that is happening. And mechanical contact stress, as I would say, how many of you have a keyboard tray and you're using it? Let me see the hands. Alright? And are you resting your wrist over the end of that tray? Do you rest?
Yes.
And that is the mechanical contact stress that's going to happen. So please avoid keeping your hands over the sharp edges. And how many of you, when you're just looking into these systems, how many of you just keep like this and look into the systems? So many people do it, right? And that is also one of the mechanical contact stress that you're causing it to your elbow. And there are a few hazardous positions. I will just show you some photographs, and the inadequate rest and recovery. And I know that everybody wants to work for long hours because you want to finish your work. But please do take adequate rest in between your work. How many of you take the breaks? Adequate breaks? And now I'm here talking about the breaks that you're taking, not that coffee breaks or tea breaks or the fat breaks. I'm talking about the breaks in between your working. Say around some 20 seconds or 30 seconds. You get off your work and you just keep walking, or you do some exercises. How many of you do some exercises in between your work? Let me see the hands. Only few are doing. But please remember that exercises in between your work is very, very important, and it's very, very vital. And now I'm going to do some exercises for you, and I want you also to do it. Okay? Right? Can we get up? Just 2 minutes. Please remember that the exercises that you are going to learn is going to keep you pain-free. Alright? Alright? Okay. What I would like you to do is stand with your feet apart. Alright? And keep your left hand on the back and right hand over the head and try to stretch it. Okay? Towards the same. Right? Stretch it this way. Wherever your hand is there over the head, stretch it to the same side. Okay? Can you feel the stretch over the opposite side? And let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take hardly 2 seconds to do this exercise. So please do it. The next one is the same way, the opposite side. Okay? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The same way, you're going to press it down and turn it to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright? Now for your shoulders, just keep one hand over the opposite shoulder and try to press it back. Alright? Try to press it back. Everybody are feeling a gentle stretch here. Count till 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again to the opposite side. So this might take hardly 2 seconds. 2 or 3 seconds it might take, right? So please make sure that you're doing it because it is going to keep you fit to work in your workplace. And the last point that I've added here is vibration. And when I mentioned your vibration, what do you mean by that? How can vibrations cause the repetitive strain injuries? Anybody have any idea?
If we are sitting, we are shaking.
Pardon?
If we are sitting, we are shaking our legs.
When we are sitting, sometimes we have tendency to shake our leg.
And other than that, any idea?
Phone vibration.
And I'm very sure that you come to your office, like how do you come? You come on a bike, on a cab,
Cycle.
right? Like what is happening when the roads are very bumpy there? You do get exposed to vibrations, right? Already you are getting exposed to the repetitive strain injuries, and the same body parts and body structures are getting vibrated again and again, like even when you are traveling. So these vibrations are also some risk factors. So keep it in mind that you are going to avoid such vibrations in few ways. Now here are 3 photos. She is one of my colleagues who is working in the hospital where I'm working now. And in these 3 photographs, tell me which is a better position to work on the system.
First.
The first one, right? But in your office, when you're working with the computer, are you like this or are you like this? I've seen people that sitting
ముందుకు మేడం,
in front
ముందుకు
of the
bend అయింది.
computer, they'll be just peeping into the windows of the screen and then be searching something inside. If you just draw a line just over the ear and near your shoulder, it should be straight. If you draw a line here, the line is going in front of the shoulder, right? So this means that you are not maintaining the cervical curvature properly. As I told you, any curve that you're not going to maintain properly, you're going to put the pressure back on your spine. So please remember, the first one is always the best position, and be aware that when you're going to sit in front of the computer, you're going to adopt that position and not the third one. Alright? How many of you do this? When you're working, you do the multitasking. You have your mobiles, right? You peep into the system, or you have your phones on your desks, and you peep into the system, right? And we do sometimes gymnastics in front of the computer. Please don't do it. Alright? Now, in this picture, if you see, we have listed some postural risk factors where it says the head forward position causes 92% of the risk factor because your cervical spine's curvature is getting lost. And again, the rounded back. How many of you sit like this? How many of you sit like this? Most of you? Right? Please don't sit like that. Because you're again, I'm telling you, I'm just talking in concern with the upper back and not the lower back. I'll just come to the lower back later. And again, practice shoulders. It says 55% of the people in an IT company, in any IT company, we just they sit like this. Alright? So this is one of the risk factors. Now, out of these 3 pictures, which do you find better?
One.
Pardon?
One.
One? And why not second and third? Because he's a policeman? Or because the lady is stooping forward? What is the reason? Now, again, as I told you, draw a line wherever you stand. You make sure that the curves of the spine is maintained. Alright? Here, she's having a lumbar curve but not a spine. The curve which is there on the cervical spine. Here, this person is having 2 lordotic posterior ovaries lumbar area. So this is the curve that I'm talking about. Okay? The cervical curve and the lumbar curve and the thoracic curve. Everything is interconnected here. If you're going to lose your cervical curve, automatically your thoracic curve will come in front. Too forward. If you're going to exaggerate your lumbar curve, your cervical curve is going to go back and you're going to have a flat thoracic curve. So everything is interconnected here. Might be whether you're walking or you're sitting and eating, whether you're watching the TV, in everything the curves will get compromised. So make sure that you're going to maintain all these 3 curves. Alright?
Heart sitting.
This is one of the very major issues these days in the IT companies. How many of you have this same type of chair in your workplace? Everybody do, right? Everybody use this?
Yes.
How many of you are very happy to use this? And how many of you are not happy to use this? Let me see the hands who are not happy to use this. Can you say the reason why you're not feeling happy?
Sometimes I get pain here. Because of the armrest, right?
Okay.
I get pain here.
Okay. Have you ever taken any initiative to do something for it?
I just keep my arm on the armrest.
Okay. And do you know this arm is adjustable? Do you know it? Have you adjusted it for you? No? Daily you adjust it? Okay. And how many of you know to adjust this chair according to your height and according to your the height of the monitor or whatever? How many of you know it? Yes, ma'am. I could see one. Ma'am, can you just show it for me? So this is the height, and then anything else is there in this chair?
Normally I see.
How many of you know that there is a knob here to adjust the height of your backrest? Everybody know it, right? Have you seen this? This one is to have to adjust your height of the backrest. Okay? You open it and you can bring this up. It is stuck here. Okay? When you open it, make sure that it has been designed in such a way that your back should be rested to the chair till the back, till the height of the shoulder. Okay? So because they have designed it because few people might be higher than somebody and few people will be like very short, so they can adjust it according to their height. Okay? The ideal position where your back has to be supported is this area. Alright? Till your scapula. This place it has to be supported. So make sure that you are adjusting the chair. And how many of you know that there is a thing to you can sway your chair. Everybody use it? Can you see the hands? Everybody use it? Please don't use it. Okay? Majority of the IT employees use this way. What is going to happen is when one thing might happen that you're going to fall down back. Alright? And the other one is automatically again, as I told you, the lumbar curvature is going to get lost. Please lock it and sit. Okay? And how we are going to lock? There is a knob here. Alright? You're going to push it inside, it will lock. Okay? If you're going to pull it outside, it's going to go back. Okay? I'm scared to sit with this. Alright? So the other one, as I told you, this armrest cannot be used for everybody. Alright? And the normal ideal position where you have to keep your system will directly vary with this chair's height. Alright? And how you're going to sit is the major thing that you're going to do. Some people keep their legs over the CPUs. Right? How many of you sit like that? Some people sit as if they are going to do some yoga. Alright? And someone is going to put his leg over the other one. And there was a funny incident that happened when I went to one of the IT companies. And I asked the people, the crowd who is sitting in front of me, when you're going to sit here and keep the legs over the CPU, where does your body weight goes? Where do you think the body weight goes?
Lower back.
Pardon?
Lower back. Lower back.
Lower back. It's a good answer that I got here, but I got an answer there that the weight is going to the CPU. Alright? So, the maximum that you're going to compromise your way of sitting, maximum you're going to lower your spine. Alright? So when you sit ideally in the chair, the ideal position is you have to seat your legs over the floor. Okay? And your hip should be 90 degrees and your legs should be 90 degrees perpendicular to the floor. Alright? And now let's come to the system. Alright? In the sitting, the monitor should be exactly having an 1 arm distance, not more than that. Alright? This is too far having. I'm going to pull it. This is the 1 arm distance for the system. In a layman term, I'm just explaining it. Alright? And the keyboard, where do you keep it? Everybody keep it over the writing surface area? Or do you have any external keyboard tray?
Tray.
You have a tray. How many of you use it? Everybody? Few of them are very comfortable with keeping the keyboard over the writing surface area, right? How many of you are very comfortable with it? Alright? Is smoking good to your health? No? But still people do it. The same way, if you're going to keep the keyboard over the writing surface area, it's not good to your health. You're compromising your health. Though it is wrong, we still do it. Please don't do it. They have given an external keyboard tray to use it. Why you're going to use it? Because if you're going to keep the keyboard tray over your writing surface area, what is going to happen? You're going to raise your hand and shoulders, right? Right? What is happening? Static lowering is happening to your shoulder. That's why we have given a tray which is there down to your writing surface area, and your hands will be in the neutral position. How is this when you use the keyboard, and how is this when you use the keyboard? Which is better?
First one.
The first one, right? So, please use the keyboard tray and make sure that your shoulder and your hand is in 90 position again. Okay? This is going to be 90 degrees. Right? Right? Now,
Tray movable hai kada?
నేను బాగా వాడతాను.
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Now, the neutral wrist. You have a keyboard tray? Right? Everybody use a keyboard tray? How many of you are using this?
Oh.
You're using it? Don't use it. You know that I'm talking funny. But this has been designed for not for the 95% of the Indian population. This has been designed for the 5% who are very high or who are very short. When they are very short, what happens is they want to increase the chair height. To compensate that tilt, they have made this one. When they're going to open this, their wrist will be in the neutral position, the shorter people. But what happens when you are doing it, you're going to do the wrist in this position, right? As I told you, when you're going to do this, it's not the neutral position of the wrist. The neutral position of the wrist should be this way. And try to initiate the movements. How do you type? You type by using the wrist. How many of you type? How many of you use the wrist? Do this deviation to type. How many of you do it? Most of us. Please learn to type from your shoulder. Move your shoulder to type it.
Oh my god.
Alright? Move the shoulder to type it. There is a system called
చాలా కష్టం కదా.
There is a system called divide and conquer. Okay? The system is you're going to use both the hands and divide the keys and you're going to use it. You're not going to use both. You're not going to use only one hand. And some people have seen that they'll be using from Q to P, they'll be using the same hand. From again A to L, they'll be using the same hand. Please don't use it. Divide and conquer it. Okay? And again, no gymnastics when you're using the computer. The last point told you is the negative tilt. Please don't cause any positive tilt to the keyboard. Okay? And listen, until you're very short, don't use it. Alright? Keep it in the neutral position. And now, mouse. How many of you hold the mouse like this, in a cup-shaped hand? Most of us?
Please don't do it.
Please use it gently. I've seen people who are killing the mouse with their hands. As if it's going to run to the next table, they'll be holding it. It's not going to run, right? Please hold it gently. Alright? Otherwise it's going to bite your joints. As I told you, it's going to cause the repetitive strain injuries. Alright?
Oh my god.
60% of those with severe injuries have the chronic neck pain and the shoulder stiffness. Now let us see. Let's do one activity now. Okay. Let's all take the left hand. Okay. 2 fingers. Poke your opposite shoulder with some pressure. No. Just in front of your head. The opposite shoulder. Alright? Poke it harder with some good pressure. Poke it in this way. How many of you feel some pain there? You're feeling some pain? With the same fingers, try to apply the same pressure over your elbow here. You're having pain now? Do you have it? No, right? Why is it with the same pressure you're having the pain here and not here? You're applying the same pressure, right? Why is it happening? It's because you have abused your muscles. As I told you, you are sitting in this way with a rounded shoulder. As you're sitting, what is happening? You're sitting in a very cold place, right? You do use ACs. What is happening is all the muscles will get stiffened. And you have got the habitual muscle tension. And as I told you, like most of the people, there are a few common RSS. One is myofascial pain syndrome. The myofascial pain syndrome is all about like your myofascial areas are getting affected because of this RSA. And probably you're starting to get it. So please avoid it by doing some stretches. Okay? Now what we are going to do is, I think I'll be having another 10 minutes. Alright? Now we'll just do one stretch. Okay? As we're going to sit, take your hand in front, keep it this way, and try to stretch it. Okay, this is very, very important because you picture there, what is that bird there?
Ostrich.
What is it doing? It has a peculiar character, right? What is the character?
ఏదన్నా తుఫాన్ ఏదైనా వస్తే తల
The ostrich has a peculiar
Oh, no.
character. As such, if it's going to get caught by its enemy, it will just go and hide its head into the mud and think that nobody is seeing. Okay? Please don't do the same thing. If you have some problem, agree that you have some problem and seek some medical advice. Might be you can share it with your friends or with your manager. Might be they will guide you. Okay? Seek medical advice as soon as possible. Okay? Because if you're going to ignore even few days, that might cost your life. That might cost your career. There was one person who is presently working with Ready Mirchi, and he was working with IBM, which was one of the topmost companies at this times, and he lost his career because of this RSA. The reason was he ignored his pain. He kept on ignoring, and one fine day he couldn't work. He started getting numbness, tingling in his hands. How many of you are getting numbness and tinglings these days? Maybe you're very young and you might not be getting it now. As you're going to keep on working, one day, fine day you would have abused most of your joints and you will definitely get it.
తిమ్మిరిపోవడం
Please
చేతులు
don't
పని
ignore your
చేయమనిపిస్తుంది
pains.
కదా.
Seek some medical advices. And I've seen so many people who self-medicate it. Do you use pain balms and painkillers? How many of you are having a stock of painkillers and pain balms in your drawer? Please don't self-medicate yourself. Maybe you might not know for which medicine you are contraindicated to. If you're going to use it, it might cause some other problems. So don't worsen your problems. Alright? Now, stages of RSA. There are 3 stages of RSA. The first stage says that the pain will be there. Once you get out of your company, you won't have any pain. Managers might think that you're cheating him, that he's saying that you're having pain when you're working, but you're not having pain once you get out of the area. How many of you have such pain here? You're in stage 1. Please make sure that you're not ignoring it. And again, the pain that goes with you to your home, and again, what is going to happen is going to hinder your activities of daily life. When you're going to take bath, you'll be having pain here. When you're going to wipe your back, you might be having pain here. So this sort of hindering will be there when you're doing the activities of daily life. and it might ease off by the next day morning. When you're having such pains which is there throughout the night and it is getting eased off in the next morning, then you are on stage 2. And stage 3 is very, very worse. It might take even several months to recover with good physiotherapy and with good medications. Okay? The stage 3 says that the pain will be always there with you as your friend. It's not going to leave you. The more you're going to get worse, the more your problems will be. So please don't ignore your problems. As I said to you, my facial pain syndrome, I've taught you what it is about. And again, thoracic outlet syndrome happens because you're sitting with a rounded shoulder. There are a few nerves that are passing through your neck. Alright? When you're going to strain it, what is going to happen? You will start to get numbness and tingling. Because the nerves are getting compressed there. There are several nerves that are coming out of this place. And if you're getting numbness and tingling, please make sure that you take care of it. Alright? And how many of you have played this shock game when you're there very young? Most of us have played, right? Now what is going to happen when you're going to keep your elbows on these sharp edges? It is going to get crushed. And that is what we are mentioning here as cubital tunnel syndrome. Okay? Cubital tunnel syndrome happens somewhere here in your elbows. And again, as I told you, when you're typing, this area is going to get affected. There is a nerve running through that area and it is going to get. Okay? Please don't try to keep your wrist always. Try to keep your wrist in neutral position and type in this way. Okay? These were the things that I told. This area is the elbow and this nerve is getting kissed by the muscles around it. Okay? So don't ever keep your elbows like this. Now, there are some pitfalls also in the treatment. Most of you will have a neck pain, right? If you go to a physiotherapy, normal physiotherapy center, what do? They give a traction, right? They give a massage, right? When your problem is in the muscle, why do you need a traction to your spine? So there are a lot of misdiagnoses happening. So get yourself diagnosed in the best place that you can. Don't ever just peep into some small clinics or some hospitals where they are going to misdiagnose you. Okay? There are cases where they have done the back surgeries which have got failed. And throughout their life they have stayed with the pain. And especially the IT company people who are working for a long time. So please take care of your health. Don't ever agree if the doctor or if the person who is treating you say that you need a surgery, don't ever tell a yes to it. If they're telling, take a second opinion. If you're not happy with it, don't ever hesitate to even take a third opinion. Okay? Keep it in, then you can just go ahead for your surgeries. And again, as I told you, everybody think that when they're having pain, they can just go do a weight training in the gymnasium. That is not going to help you. Already your muscles have got strained. If you're going to strengthen the muscles again, thinking that you're going to strengthen it, it is going to strain it again. So please don't do it. And again, swimming, they say that because if I'm going to swim, that is going to, keep my joints very free. But it's not actually. Okay? Please, because when you're going to swim, most of the muscles are going to act. Again, you're putting the strain again and again over your bones and soft tissues. And as I told you, the surgeries. And this is one of the protocols that we follow in our clinics. It's a separate protocol which has been devised and designed for such IT employees, and we follow a particular protocol. This I will just skip it because. Now here there's a picture. This picture was taken from the Ergonomics Times where the Sensex is going on, the national level Sensex is going on. Like now see, there are 4 people sitting here. Who is sitting in the better posture? Who has the best posture here? Pardon?
Last guy. Third
None
guy.
of them. Nobody is having a good posture. Okay? The problem here is everybody has some problem here in the core. The first one is stooping forward. The second one, as I told you, is not locking his backwards. The third one is just again peeping forward. The fourth one, if you see, he is just sitting in this way. I told which is not supposed to be done. Alright?
Vulture.
How many of you use the laptop here? Everybody? Most of them? Okay? Do you use the external keyboard as I told you?
Yes.
You have an external keyboard? Start using it. And use your monitor, your laptops as monitors. If the height is not enough, keep 2 or 3 books. Increase the height. The height of the monitor, like it might be a desktop or it might be a laptop. It should be just half an inch below your height. Okay? When you're sitting, there should be 1 hand distance, and the height of the monitor should be just half an inch below your eye level. Okay? That's the ideal level that you're supposed to use the keyboards. Sorry, I'm sorry, monitors. Now, visual ergonomics. How many of you have the headaches, and how many of you have started wearing the specs after you started your career? Let me see the hands. Okay, all these are happening because the visual ergonomics is not being followed properly. Okay,
Yeah.
all these things are interrelated, as I said you earlier. Now, there are few facts that are true, that you are not blinking your eyes. How many of you have noticed it? When you're looking into the monitor, for at least a minute you will not blink your eyes. But normally we blink our eyes at least 8 times in a minute, on an average. But when we're looking into the monitor, we somehow forget to blink our eyes. That causes there will not be lubrication in our eyes. And again they will be dry. What is going to happen? It is going to strain our eyes. Please don't forget to blink your eyes. Alright? There is a rule. And your name is? Your name is? Ankur.
Ankur.
Okay, Ankur. Ankur was asking how many times should I do these exercises? There is a rule. Okay? The rule is called 20-20 rule. We are getting very fancy these days because even cricket is developing, right? So the rule's name is 20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, take a 20 seconds break. Alright? Every 20 minutes you're working, take a 20 seconds break. Please don't go out in the 20 seconds for your tea or your coffee or fat. Sit in your workplace and just do the stretches that we are talking. Alright? And I'm having the handouts of those things, you can just get it before you go. And now let's do some exercises for our hands. Okay? Just point your hand, your finger like this. Just keep in front of you and try to focus it as you're bringing it closer to your nose. Try to focus it when you're bringing it closer to your nose. Alright? You got this? And the other one, trap the finger without moving your head, and don't poke your friends who are sitting next to you. Try to trap your finger without moving your head. Alright? And make the X. Try to track it. Okay? All this will improve the movements of your eyes. Might be sometimes we might think we will be looking funny to do this in the office. Everybody are going to laugh at us. It's okay if they're laughing at us. No problem. We are not telling you to do yogas inside the office. We are just telling you to do very gentle exercises which is going to keep you fit. Alright? So these are the things that you have to make it to keep your eyes fit. And as I told you, the distance of the monitor and the distance of the chair, always maintain it in the 1 arm distance. Okay? And one thing I just want to tell you is about the dual monitors. I think many of people use the dual monitors. Dual monitors do you use? How do you use it? You keep both in the same level, one here and the other one here. Alright? One monitor will be here, the other monitor will be here, right? What is going to eventually happen is, when you're keeping the monitor like that, you're going to see this monitor once and you're going to turn your neck and see the next monitor again, right? Right? That is causing some repetitive strain to your neck. What I would suggest is, angulate the monitor. Keep one monitor this way and the other monitor this way. Okay? A gentle angulation where both the monitors are coming within your visual field. Alright? These small things that you're going to change is going to change your career. It's going to make your workplace happy. Okay? Most of them, when they're getting up on the Mondays to come to the office, they'll think, yuck, I have to go to the office. I have to go see and go look into the computer again. So, to keep your workplace cheerful, do the small things that we have told you. Alright? Now, about the diet. Don't look at my weight. I might be obese. But the fact is, all the junk foods that we eat is going to compromise our health. Sometimes in the Saturday evenings when we go to the McDonald's and the KFCs, the shops will be full. We won't have a place even to go inside. So those junk foods, I'm not telling that we should never eat it. Eat it, but burn it. Okay? Just having food which is coming up to our mouths and we just go and sleep again. Please don't do it. Burn whatever you're using. Please burn it. Alright? And again, take a lot of vegetables, greens, fruits in your daily food. Just having we just say that one big cup of rice in the nights and again getting back to the sleep. Please don't do it. Alright? This is the rule for the break that I told you. Okay? There is something called micro breaks and macro breaks. Micro breaks happen 5 seconds in every 10 to 15 minutes. If it's not feasible for you to take this macro break. Every 2 minutes in every 1 to 2 hours. Okay? Split up your breaks. These are the breaks that you're going to take it. You're not going to get out of your workplace, sit there, do this, do follow this breaks. There is one picture here where you can see that this person is taking quite often the breaks. Okay? And please take at least how many of you fill this water bottle and go to your workplace? Everybody? You fill it up to the brim? Up to the neck you fill it? Please fill it half. Okay? Take half of the bottle, go sit in your workplace. If it is getting over, in that time you can take a break and you walk back to the place where you want to fetch the water, get it again, come back to your place. Okay? You cannot give an excuse that you don't have time to do the exercise. I'll tell you few places where you can do the exercises. Everybody come in a cab or in a bus?
Cycle.
Right? Get at least a stop before. Walk from there to your workplace. It might be not possible, but try. You have lifts in your office, right? Try to take the stairs when you're walking. Don't give excuse that you are very busy. If you're going to be very busy, you're going to become idle in your future. Alright? So take breaks which are very adequate. The employee's role is that you have to take responsibility for your own health and career. Please do not ignore or deny that you have a problem. Alright? So as I told you, seek your treatment as early as possible. If you have a problem, you don't ignore it, you take treatment as soon as possible. This is the role of yours. As I told you, the exercises. If you're not I would say that at least 60 minutes, okay, in a day you should do the exercises. It might be 3 to 4 times per week, or it can be 60 minutes in a day, or you can cut short it as 1 minute 60 times a day. You can do it wherever you're sitting in. Possible? Possible to do? You can do it, right? Please do it. And again, as I told you, climb the stairs instead of just getting into the lift and going up again. Alright? And these are the few things that we are mentioning it to watch your curves. Alright? These are the correct postures that you're supposed to use and not these ones. How is this person watching the TV there? And how is this? Which is better? Second one, right? And not that one. Please don't use that in your home in that way. Now sleeping postures. Might be this person is not sleeping properly. If you see here, this person, it's not a great curve bed. It's just a couch. Alright? Might be we might give reasons that our spouse has just kicked out of our bedroom. We might just go and have a sleep in the garden or in the couch. Even in the couch you can sleep better. Alright? Make the positions in such a way that you're not losing your curves in the spine. And RSI is not in your head. People say that because I'm using the computer, I will have pain. It is not a fact. It's not in your head. Just because you think that you're working with a computer, you're not going to get the pain. Take that out. you're having pain, you're having pain. That's it. And it does not have any quick fix solution saying that if I'm going to take one painkiller, I'm going to be pain free. Alright? How many of you have this warning signs? Saying, how many of you shake your hands when you're working? Most of us. How many of you do like this when you're working? How many of you do like this when you're working? Everything is just a warning sign. If you're doing it, please make sure that you think that you're having pain. Don't have any painkillers in your drawers. Okay, please avoid self-medicating you. And now, what does it take to recover from motorcycle? It is all about the expert medical assessments. And as an employee, you should go and say that you're having pain. Alright? Please take the responsibility and be responsible enough for your career and for your future. Okay? If you have any doubts, you can just send a mail to me. I'm there always there to help you. And there is a person who comes here on Wednesdays, right? And you can just ask the person who is coming here. And if you have any other questions now, I'm sorry. I know that your digestive system is stimulating your hunger. So you can just leave, but before that, please take some time. I'm having some flyers which is giving some common stitches that you can do it in your office. And I have some feedback forms which is just a tick. You need not write anything. You can just stick it. You can just write your names and your official email IDs, and you can just give it back to me. Alright? Somebody was having some doubts, right? If you want, you can just show it out. Yeah.
Is it okay to hold the bags on the back?
Yeah, you can hold it unless and until, like, if it is not having enough cushion, then it is a problem. Okay, make sure that it has that handle has a lot of cushion in it. And I would say that when you're going in the bikes or something, alright, avoid taking that. If it is very mandatory, you take it. Then because you are going into the traffic, it is hectic to drive. Okay? So if it is very mandatory, then you take it. If you are going in the buses, then it's okay. You can just carry it and you can just keep it on your lap. That's not an issue. Alright?
Can we use the armrest while driving?
That's what. If you are in the 95th percentile, alright, keep the handrest and make sure that the handrest is in line with your laptop, your keyboard tray. If it is in line, then what is happening is you can just maintain the same neutral position. Alright? Anything else?
One more. Shall I graph this?
Should we use mouse pads and all that?
Yes, you have to use the mouse pad that has a cushion to your wrist. Okay? That is to avoid that you are going to expose your wrist to the sharp edges. Alright? Anything else? There are some feedback forms. Please try to fill it and give it back to me with your names and with your email address. Now I just